Hi everyone, I'm sitting in my office on Friday and I'm thinking about week 2 and what we're going to be working on this next week in class. Also trying to clean up some of the bugs on the website and try to get things working. I'm trying to figure out an aspect to make the class more interactive so we can talk to one another. There is a comments box on the blog page. That might be one way we could do it. There's a little bit of a struggle with responding to each other on Blackboard on the blog posting, so that's not working too well. So I'm trying to figure out some different ways that we can get to talk to one another. I did put a link to a Facebook page that I made. If you wanted to do a friend request to me, I think then you could be on that page. You might actually be able to write in that page without being a friend. So somebody try that and see if it works, and I'm happy to befriend you on Facebook, and that might be one place where we can kind of chat and talk about some of the ideas that we have. So next week, Jennie Nelson, Reading Classrooms as Text. This article has been seminal. It's been a cornerstone of my pedagogy when it comes to the writing classroom. I've used it for years. I talk about it all the time. If you know me, you've probably heard me talk about this text and how important it's been to me and how it's really helped me over the years. So some of the things that Jennie Nelson really talks about is this idea of the professionalization of a student, and that they learn to do class so that they come in with these preconceived notions and ideas of what a class should be like. And when they do that, they come in task-oriented. I always talk and think about it like thinking how students, you go to an ATM, you put in the ATM card, you put the pin in, and out comes the money. It's like task-oriented. And we know that writing classrooms don't tend to be that way. There are tasks that we do, but we also know that writing is recursive by nature. So what we mean by that is the idea that the more you do it, the better you get at it, right? It's called recursivity. We keep going back to these ideas over and over again. So things like peer review and drafting and pre-writing are all things that really help us in the writing process. I always tell my writing students in my English 130 class that most of us assume that somebody like Stephen King sits at the computer, grabs his keyboard, here it is, here's my keyboard, right? Types, and an angel sitting on one side, a devil sitting on the other side, and somehow this manuscript comes out and there's not an edit or a mark, it just comes out perfect. And the truth is anybody who writes know that writing doesn't work that way. And breaking those preconceived notions for students can be really challenging. And Nelson talks about this idea of the professionalization of the student. How can you get them out of this professionalization? How can you get them to engage within the writing classroom? And so I love this article. It's really interesting for me. It's really fun. Again, I've used it for years. It's just one of those things that kind of always comes back to me and that I feel is really important when thinking about your students come into your classroom and they already have previous experiences. And those previous experiences are going to shape how they are in your classroom and how they engage. And remember that our society now today is built upon this idea of completion, tasks, getting stuff done. And we're really training students in elementary and high school, right? We've talked about teaching to the test, right? These ideas that they're funneled into these assessments. And that's really not always a true gauge of how somebody is as a writer. And writing's an interesting sport, right? I'm sure you've had this happen. One teacher in one year gives you an A and the next year you're getting C's. And there's a lot of ambiguity when it comes to what people are looking for. And that can be really a struggle for students coming into the classroom. They can really have a hard time with that. And maybe they got those papers over the years with the red pen all over it, and they feel insecure about their writing practices. So getting students to engage in the classroom can be a challenge. Nelson is dealing with a lot of these ideas, and she has some strategies for that. So you have 2 homework assignments this week, a blog, which is due by Tuesday by midnight, and a microtheme, which is due by Sunday at midnight. And for this week, I'm thinking that the blog would be really interesting if it was reflective in nature, kind of you thinking about what kind of ideas you come into the classroom with and how that affects your classroom experience. I mean, even this class you could talk about. You come in and you have this expectation, and then you have to navigate all the problems of an online class. So how those things can really be stumbling blocks or ways that it can help you, because some strategies we've learned really help us in the classroom. The micro theme, I want you to dig a little differently. I want you to actually be using some of the ideas within Nelson's article and be thinking about how you could employ those into a classroom. How could you use some of her strategies in order to engage your students in the writing classroom? Of course, the micro theme is MLA format, 1 to 2 pages. You should be citing material. I'm expecting the citations to be correct. If these are questions for you or problems, the OWL Purdue is great. Diana Hacker, a pocket style manual. I didn't have you purchase it, but it's really not very expensive and it could be useful for you. I'm hoping you're enjoying the class. I want to get to know you guys a little better. It feels kind of nebulous right now. Again, if you have any strategies for that, if you have any ideas, if you're web savvy, let me know. And we'll keep trying to find new ways to connect. Send me questions and comments if you have, and I'll be talking with you soon. Oh, also, there might be a time when I see blogs or ideas that I'd like to post onto probably the blog page. If you have any issue with me utilizing your material publicly on the website, please let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to assume it's okay, and we'll go from there. I won't embarrass you, I promise. It would only be good stuff. All right, you guys, I hope you have a great week, and I'll, excuse me, I'll talk with you soon.